The land crawled by in long, lifeless plains. Reeds without end. Dark water lying still beneath a pale sky. The hours lost their names. Kastor woke with his cheek against the boards. The wind had died. Out! The first captive climbed down. Then another, limping, his wrappings dark with old blood. One by one, the guards emptied them into the yard. Kastor stepped down last. Sleep still clung to him. He dragged a forearm across his eyes and looked around. In the forest, rays of warm gold passed through green leaves. Here, the sun was white, a fire stripped of flame. Stone towers rose around the yard, dark and steep. Timber walls had been driven into the gaps between them. Roofed passages crossed overhead, and warped wooden chambers clung to the stone wherever room could be found. Roofs leaned upon roofs. Beams sagged. Whole dwellings seemed to hang above the yard by rusted nails and faith. Figures crowded the yard and the ramparts. Some wore mail and iron caps. Others stood wrapped in hide and fur. Many wore only rags, the cloth so thin that bone showed whenever it stirred. A few turned to watch the new captives. Their eyes passed over Kastor, then went elsewhere. A guard struck him between the shoulders. Kastor stumbled one step. The chain between his ankles drew tight. He looked back. The guard raised his cudgel again. Kastor smiled at him. Then he went on. They were driven through a narrow door and down a stair cut deep into the stone. The walls pressed close on either side. Damp ran between the blocks. The air grew colder with every step. At the bottom stood an iron gate. It opened with a long creak. Beyond lay a low chamber sunk beneath the fortress. More captives waited within. Some sat against the walls with their heads bowed. Some whispered into clasped hands. All wore chains. The guards thrust the newcomers inside. The gate closed. Darkness took them. Kastor could no longer see the others, only hear them. Breath drawn too quickly. Iron shifting over stone. A woman murmuring the same name beneath her breath. Then the sound came. A roar from somewhere above. Not thunder, not beasts. Men. Hundreds of them, shouting and stamping until the chamber trembled beneath their feet. A breath of laughter shook Kastor's shoulders. Fine hall. No one laughed. A door opened at the far end of the chamber. No light entered, only footsteps. Slow, measured. Kastor turned toward them. A calm voice carried easily through the chamber. The punishment for defying the order is death. You shall pay that debt in the cloister above. The footsteps moved among them. Steady, unhurried, as though the dark itself laid a path before him. Yet your tale need not end with the vigil. No one answered. The man passed close to Kastor. Cloth whispered against cloth. There came the faint scent of oil and cold iron. Then he moved on. Draw your offering from the cauldron. Slay the one whom fate sets before you. Silence. Then draw again. The roar above rose anew. The walls shuddered. Dust fell through Kastor's hair and settled upon his shoulders. And again. The air tasted of wet stone. And again. The footsteps stopped. When dawn breaks, those who yet draw breath shall be remade in blood. A murmur stirred through the chamber. Prayers, pleas, the names of gods Kastor had never heard, spoken as though each were the last door left unopened. One night of blood for the life you owe. That is all the high star asks. The murmuring died. Kastor stared into the dark. The footsteps began once more. I wish you fortune in the struggles to come. The distant door shut. Its echo lingered after the man was gone. No one spoke. Then, somewhere against the far wall, a man began to weep.